as though it was the better option.
And it's not.
That whatever you had was not working.
Was not working.
Because I had to hoodwink you into imagining that how you were educating your children, how you were farming the land, how you were trading. Remember, Africa had one of the most sophisticated methods of trade that the world has ever seen.
They were exporting to Europe.
And this was happening, that there were systems of government which were operating. People knew how to rule. There was fairness. There was justice. It was happening, whether you want to admit it or not. So what was presented was a better way. And for years after colonialism in many, many, many countries, then you imagine that this new way of government was trying to be inculcated by leaders, but it was always a mismatch. And so there were people who were always knocking heads. So are you saying that this democracy that every one of us uses to now describe our country's Democratic Republic of the Democratic People, whatever, actually is not working?
I think that if the cat is not eating the mouse, the poverty mouse, it's not working. Our job is to increase the money in people's pockets, for them to have shops, for them to build dukas, to go to good schools and the things that I've talked about. But also, I think that it would be absurd for us to not notice that we live in the 21st century and that there are benchmarks of systems of government, right, that have been tried and tested. I think that the African system of government has not been tried and tested. And it cannot be exclusive because, there's no Garden of Eden back in Africa.
Well, maybe they won't allow it, Hashi, because they know it will work. And once it works, then a lot of the folks who are still trying to come back and court the African girl then will be locked out.
Ahmed Cesar said, that book is called Return to My Native Land. He was criticized by a guy called Frantz Fanon, who said, there's no Garden of Eden in Africa. We were butchering each other just as much as other people were butchering each other. So there's a danger of returning to Afrocentrism. And then we find out that the human condition, because we're all humans, that the human condition is this, that we had Shaka Zulu, who came all the way to Kambani here. We had all these African despots. Mama Suluhu actually used the African culture, the African history to say that the Gen Zs are not good because they're exercising their democratic right. So we have to be careful about Afrocentrism. But we have to be of an African consciousness. If Afrocentrism is being used to say the Gen Zs cannot go and exercise their right to democratic protest, then there's a danger. So we have to be smart. We have to use the allegory of the cat and the mouse. But if the cat doesn't find the mouse in the house, he finishes him. And the guy is sitting reading his newspaper, the cat will eat the owner of the house. We have to get a balance of the right for Ahmed Hashi to come and express himself and for the government to do its job.
So should we be concerned, should we be concerned with the business of diplomacy and making sure that your right has reign with certain countries in the world? Because we've called